where you would want your mates to be in real life?
We are your mates.
Testing 1, 2, 3. My name is Jack Bingham,
And I am Scott Hughes
and this is the B-Sides.
of Your Mates.
Your Mates podcast, B-Sides.
We are your mates, me and Jack, and take us with you wherever you go. Podcast edition.
Wherever you'd want your mates to be. And the B-Sides. If you haven't caught up on the B-Sides yet, there's a couple out. They're a bit looser. They're a bit shorter. We don't cover as many topics, but boy, do we get into the nitty-gritty.
And why is that?
Because we don't have a manager here.
We're missing our manager, Lachlan Rennie.
Very key ingredient, especially if you've listened to the last couple of episodes. He's got some serious contributions.
Absolutely.
And he just keeps us grounded. He keeps us legal. And he's basically our resident Google searcher.
Yeah.
And
as well as many other managerial roles.
He does a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's kick it off.
B-sides. Now, anything can happen with these topics. I'm going to start with one, which is a bit of an interesting one. And really, I guess with this one, it's more of I guess I want to ask the question. I want to pose the question. I actually want some feedback from fans, not fans, mates. Our mates. Community mates that we may or may not have met yet, but they're our mates nonetheless.
The Jack and Scott Instagram. Is that how you'd like to receive it?
Yeah, that's
best
how we
way to go. Jack and Scott on Instagram.
Yes.
Just message us. We've had plenty of people getting back to us.
Excellent.
So we might cover some of that later on.
Yeah, excellent. Anyway, what I want to hear some more about this stuff.
Good.
Because a couple of things. I just want to bring up a couple of things that that happened to me, and I want to know if it's normal or not. And yeah, we don't have a manager, so really this could be anything. But I'll get straight into it. The first one is a sense of smell. So a great sense, probably keeps us quite safe, actually. If it smells bad, it means don't go near it. The body doesn't like it most of the time. Except for seafood, that can often be delicious and have a funny smell, and cheese. But smell, right? In the mornings, this is what I want to know. In the mornings, I wake up and my sense of smell hasn't kicked into gear yet. I want to know if that's the same for everyone. I'm going to say it's probably about 15 to 20 minutes before my sense of smell actually starts to work. Maybe longer, maybe even close to half an hour.
Right.
Because a couple of reasons I know this. One, when I was in year 12, went on a kind of a mission trip kind of thing. Went over to Vanuatu, and the where we were actually staying, we used pit toilets.
Right.
And that's as much detail as we need to go into. But
known for not smelling great.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So I would strategize. Could be a number of factors affecting this. Could be like the colder mornings, et cetera, et cetera. But I would strategize and go specifically in the mornings, because I know, and actually even to this day, my sense of smell doesn't kick in the mornings, so I'd use the toilets in the mornings.
Right. So what, as a percentage, how much do you reckon that you've lost in the morning? Like, just say something would be, almost not bearable during the middle of the day when you're at your full height. In the morning, can you smell anything?
I'm going to say close to nothing.
Wow.
Because the other reason I was going to say is often I need to do a quick clothes check in the morning.
Yeah.
Especially when we're not on top of the washing.
Gotcha.
Sometimes I've got clean clothes and dirty clothes.
Quick shirt smell.
all on the floor. And
Yeah.
I need to do a quick check. Have I used this shirt this week?
Yeah.
Have I not? And I can't do it. In the
Ineffective.
mornings. I can't do it.
Right.
I can't smell. I can't tell. And usually people would say, "Oh, that means it's a clean shirt." But no, you know how you can usually smell at least the washing detergent smell.
Yeah, definitely. I know what you mean. That's definitely real. Is there any other kind of everyday uses where that's noticeable, or is that the main two really? Because I'm trying to think. I'm trying to basically be able to answer your question myself, only in my own opinion, and I just don't know if I smell anything in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm even trying, whether I'd notice or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's the main two occurrences. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Although, sometimes in the mornings, people wake up and like you haven't brushed your teeth, so sometimes your breath doesn't smell so great.
Yes.
You notice that sometimes, I guess, when you live with someone, or at least my wife tells me that she notices that sometimes, but I don't notice.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, we'll put it out to the people.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a common thing or not.
Maybe it just needs to wake up. Maybe it's like
Honestly,
same as you.
I
You
think,
wake up.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a half-hour delay for me.
Because I'm just trying to think. This is where I've just gone mentally. It's just like, do your other senses need to wake up?
Well, your eyes.
Yeah,
come,
your eyes
come
definitely
about
get better.
pretty sharp.
But they still can feel tired sometimes.
That's true.
And I reckon your touch is probably fine.
Your hearing, I reckon, is pretty sharp.
Yeah,
Because
true.
like you hear something, and that's almost what wakes you up. It's more almost in overdrive when you're asleep.
So if this is true, it's most likely a one-off sense.
Mainly smell, maybe taste.
All right.
Can't confirm or deny.
All right.
Maybe I need to test that. Like as soon as I wake up, have food ready to go, put it straight in the mouth, see if I can taste it.
I'd like that. But in saying that, we're waiting on you to do another test, which is the what is it? Movie in your mind driving test. We're expecting that to come into the main potty next week.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
we'll just go one test at a time. I guess.
Tell the manager I haven't finished my homework yet.
Yeah, that's what happens when he's not here. But we will. I'm actually excited to hear about that to see if you can kind of visualize that or not.
Mm-hmm.
Listen back to the other podcast if you don't know what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Is that all?
Yeah, that's basically my main thought.
Right. It really does. We'll bring it back because we really want to hear from you guys. Like Scotty was saying at the start, get on Instagram, Jack and Scott, and chuck us a message and let us know because.
That'd be great.
Look, the two of us, we've only got 2-person sample size.
Actually, I would like to make known, I've asked my wife this same question if she can smell straight away in this morning, and she reckons, straight away.
No worries. Okay.
Straight away.
So it's divided.
Heightened.
Opinions are divided. I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear if it's a guy thing, if it's just a some people thing, genetics, not true.
Yeah.
Why, if Scott's lying or not. Just let us know on Instagram.
All right. Sounds good.
Love it.
You got anything just to close us out for the short B-sides edition?
Yeah, the B-sides, we like to kind of finish off with a kind of quicker one, I guess. And what I was thinking is we actually have a long time ago on the old podcast kind of covered this in a way. But you know how when you buy technology mostly, sometimes appliances, things like that, they come with like a wrapper? And so it might be a phone that comes with a screen protector, or it might be a dishwasher with the kind of big blue plastic thing on the front.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Make sure that the metal surfaces are still shimmery.
That's right.
Shine.
When you get it into, I think it's mostly for like transport. So by the time you get it into your consumer hands,
no scratches.
It's good. It's pristine.
Yep.
So for starters, we've already spoken about this, but always take that stuff off. If it's on your appliance at home, that's not what it's there for. Get it off. Get it off and use it to its full potential. But the thing that's funny is that, especially with phones these days, getting more kind of thinner and more fragile, we basically, like, I would say that 95% of phones these days have got a case on them. And so it's funny because what's happened is we went through the whole stage of like, let's protect it so that it can get to the consumer, take off the protection, then you've got it. And then all they're doing is just chucking a new one back on.
Straight back on.
So my idea is that we basically pick a day of the week. I don't know if we basically make it like a national day or if we need to go per person, per consumer. They might have a day that's more or less dangerous than anything else. But it's basically like case off Thursdays or whatever. And every Thursday, you just take that case off your phone because the reason this comes about is because I took mine off recently. Yeah. And my phone, I've got a fairly new phone. I'm very lucky. And I think I've almost never had the case off. And I saw it and I was like, it's a
nice
beautiful
experience, isn't it?
Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
Look at this. I'll take this off right now for you, Scott.
Yeah. Well, I know what you're talking about because I remember like when you do the when I ever did like this, yeah,
Look
that
at
is
that.
nice. That is
Glass,
beautiful.
shiny. I've never seen that just about. Like, I almost don't know what that is.
Yeah. And what I was going to say is when I've taken off the screen protectors in the past, I often even though I've got the fresh one there to go, I'll leave it off for a couple of days just because I'm reminded of how good it looks.
Definitely.
Get the first scratch, chuck it straight back on.
And the screen protector is almost on the lesser side, but still, if you want to play that game, because it kind of doesn't affect it as much. But the big old case, if it's an effective case in any way, any case really, you're kind of covering the whole back, and you're adding like thickness. Really, the guys that made those phones, doesn't matter what brand it is, they kind of put a lot of money into developing it that way. And I reckon we just say, if you're listening to this right now, give it a go. Take off your case just for a day, 1 day a week, I reckon.
I thought you were going somewhere different with this, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say why use... Well, you kind of did, I guess, because you kind of basically summarised by saying the phones are designed to withstand general use, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
But what I thought you were going to say is cut out the middleman and make the case the packaging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you deliver it, it's cased, ready to go, and that is the packaging.
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just give them...
Wait, so has that got the address on it when it gets posted?
Well, I suppose that'd be one of the only things that needs to be stripped off.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Well, look, that's one for the developers, but and definitely, I reckon if you're a phone developer out there, we've made bigger calls in the past. Make your actual packaging the case, or at least at least built in some way.
Yeah, I guess we do delve into some of the other reasons for packaging, which we probably haven't talked about, such as
we've been more ignorant as well in the past.
Yeah. But I like it. I know what you're saying. But yeah, if you thought about it, just quickly, I don't want to keep harping on this, but
no, it's fine.
If Apple was to ship over a container of phones, Apple's probably a bad example because their packaging is amazing and people
part
buy
of the
things
experience.
for the
that really is
packaging.
part of that experience for them.
Let's say anyone
HTC.
else. Yeah, HTC. Why not?
HTC.
HTC. While if they maybe have a carton of phones. Just put them all in phone cases and just ship a whole carton of raw phones in phone cases to the stores.
Yep.
You just buy them as is.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And I just do want to reiterate, though, as well as that being a good point, I really want people that, as the consumer, because that is a good message to the developer. But I really want these consumers, doesn't even have to be a day, but I just think you work out in your time when it makes sense.
Appreciate you.
Even if it's just right now when you're listening to this, if you're not driving, when it's safe to do so, just take your case off, even for a couple of hours, and just make sure you enjoy that product.
Just appreciate it.
Yeah.
For how it was designed in its purest form.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's pretty much it.
Cool. Well, I think that's enough for one B-Sides episode. We don't want to do too much damage.
We'll shut it right off there.
Beautiful.
Thanks for listening, guys.
We've been great.
B-Sides.